button.
Yeah.
Or wherever you find yourself listening to this. We never like just press record and start speaking.
No.
But we always have a bit of a okay, but we haven't.
So we're in our garden again if you're not watching. So you'll hear the birds again. We had some positive reviews on that last time.
I didn't think it would be such a pro bird tweeting. I thought it'd be a bit like there's some birds, like
yeah, just
whatever.
so you guys know.
I am Eliz.
I'm Lilyemma.
And welcome back to Blonde Vibrations.
This is Champagne Whispers, episode 4.
I just showed off the fact that I have no nail varnish. And also, just a little bonus for the people who are watching. Look at the difference between these two nails, because it's snapped.
Oh, okay. We are joined today by Ollie the cat.
Say hello, Ollie.
He's a bit too far away for that.
Long story short, I'm a cat lover. If you know, you know. I love cats. I love me a cat. And that's all. He's just left now saying that, but we actually did have a really good conversation before. Trust me.
Oh, and he's not our cat, for anyone who's wondering.
Our kid.
We just have tons of cats that just come and hang out with us. Like, we don't know where they come from. Most of the time we're not even really sure who's who.
Yeah.
But we know that's Ollie because you can tell by the eyes.
He's got the most like piercing eyes. Like he'll just look at you. It's so like the meme of like people with blue eyes. But he's got green eyes, right?
Yeah.
So it's, if Miley had green eyes, that would be him.
Yeah.
Miley is Ollie.
So this week we're not talking about cats.
No, not at all. Actually.
We are talking about fashion influences,
confidence within fashion,
dopamine dressing.
Yes. So before we even do an intro to it, this is like, I suppose, a trigger warning because we are going to be talking about like body image. So if you feel like you're not in the right frame of mind to be talking about like getting a bit like reflecting in your own head about the way you appear to the world and stuff, completely understandable. Maybe just go on to a different episode. There's lots of
I mean, it hopefully won't be too intense.
No.
So I wouldn't worry. But if that's something that you know might upset you, then
don't do it to yourself. But we just thought it's a good topic to talk about. It's less so on the advice, like what would you do if, but it's more just like a reflection because, and this is going to sound very, Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
But like, even if you don't know you're making fashion choices, like you are.
Yeah,
like
because you're making decisions on what you wear.
Yeah, everyone gets up and gets dressed and thinks about what they're putting on to a certain degree, even if it's not a like, I watch all of the runways and I have to have like
the trendiest thing.
Yeah, I'm already
full designer.
Yeah, I'm like looking forward to like autumn winter 2023 already. Like it's not, you don't have to be like that to have an opinion on it. But we asked you guys actually so much. Yeah,
so this actually will probably be a two-parter because we got a bit carried away and started asking you guys, wow, that bee is huge.
Big bee.
We asked you guys so much and you guys really like
ran with it.
Yeah, I know, it's really fun. So I feel like this will probably be a two-parter, but we're gonna like start, see how far into it we get.
Yeah, and if we're just like, whoa, this got a bit much, we'll move on to another part. So, yeah, you guys actually came through with so many different like opinions and stuff, and so many people got involved in the polls. It was really nice. I guess maybe because it is very like a universal thing, like what we were saying. Bless you. If you weren't watching that, neither of us sneezed. Well, we both said bless you, so we'd have had to sneeze at the same time. So don't look at the poll. Okay. But I've made a PowerPoint of the polls this week because I don't know, I just get carried away with the whole presentation of it all. The first thing we asked was more social media based. Do you think social media pressures you to dress a certain way or steer away from certain fashion choices? And the two options were, yes, there's defo an influence to conform. No, I am free to do what I want with fashion. What do you think it was?
Yes.
Well, there's a pressure to conform. That is correct.
Whoa.
Actually, yeah, we're quite like a big amount. 76% of people said yes, there's definitely an influence to conform. 24%, which actually, to be fair, is like almost a quarter of people said no, I am free to do what I want with fashion.
That is still quite a lot of people.
Yeah, whoever is in that 24%, I think you're like, I love your mindset.
Yeah.
Like that is definitely, if we could all get to a place where
so bright.
Yeah, God, we look like angels. If we could all get to a point where we feel like we are complete equals our magpie.
Good morning,
Good morning, Mr. Magpie. How's Mrs. Magpie and all the other little magpies? Every time we're going to be outside, we're going to say that. Probably if there's a magpie. What was I saying? Oh yeah, for the third time. It would be great if we could all get to a place where we feel completely free with fashion, and we like all we do is get up and think, what do I want to wear? That is what I'm going to wear.
Yeah.
Where do you fall?
I don't know if I do feel that there's a social media pressure to conform.
Yeah.
But I think I've definitely had that before.
Yeah.
I think I'm at a point now in my life where like I'm aware that I'm a grown up and I can wear what I want to wear. I wonder if like maybe it's not so much social media picks what I wear, but I think about what I wear for social media.
Yeah.
To flip it a bit, I kind of think like that will look cool in a picture, rather than I saw Molly May wear this, so I'm gonna wear this, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna come out
Put your
and
hands up.
say that the era of Molly May on TikTok, I became like a Molly Mayite. Like I was just a little baby of her. Considering I'm like a middle parting person, I went back to the side part and because I can make my hair look like hers, and I was dressing like her. And I don't think that's a pressure to conform. It was, and I think this goes on to the point that I wrote the words age of and then didn't finish the sentence, but I know what I want to say. We're in an age of everything is like very online facing, and there's kind of the notion of like, if you did something, did you even do it if you didn't post it? And that definitely comes down to like fashion as well. A lot of what we are interested in, and we have spoken about this before, is what we are like digesting from online. So maybe it's not a pressure, but it's like if we're being shown things so much,
it ultimately does affect what you think and what you wear.
Even if it's not, because like the word pressure is obviously like a negative word, but is it so much of like, God, I feel like I have to wear this? Or is it like, oh, I've seen this one dress so much and now I'm like, oh, I kind of like it. And the fact that, I guess this would be the negative bit, if everyone else is hyping it up and saying, oh, like everyone looks so good in it, then you would maybe want to wear it.
Yeah, I think I kind of want to talk about it a bit more later on, but I think the more you see things, the more you like things.
Yeah.
And so, for example, I don't know, like Crocs.
I'm wearing Crocs right now.
No one liked Crocs. No one liked them. They were like something my dad wore to fish. Like no one thought they were fashionable. And then I think the more people that start to wear them, the more you're like, actually no, they are kind of cute. And then you see like the gibbets and things like that, and then you're like, no, maybe I would like them. And I think you can make yourself like things, whether that's food or clothes.
Yeah.
And I think it's natural, and I think social media is just like the most extreme way that you could possibly have that experience.
Because a similar thing is the whole like trousers and skirt together trend. Because we always say like some things are like Build-A-Bear fashion, like if like when you like just pile up a lot of things, it gives like you're a Build-A-Bear being dressed.
Yeah, so if I'm wearing this with like white sleeves and a cardigan and tights and big boots, and you can see my socks with the boots, like it's giving Build-A-Bear because you're wearing multiple layers. So and it's not a bad thing, it's just you look like a Build-A-Bear.
So I kind of think that with like the skirts and trousers, and I was like not anti, but I was like, I don't think so. But I work in a clothing shop, and there's this one specific pair of like, it's a pinstripe skirt and trouser together combination set, and I've seen it so much, and this isn't social media, which I guess is steering away from the question a little bit, but I've seen it so much. Every single day I have to refold it or like rehang it, and now I'm like I kind of want them.
Are they attached?
Yeah.
Like a lot?
Like it's a micro skirt with like almost like workaday trousers.
Wow, I'd love to see that.
If anyone knows which one, like that's just like outerwear at work basically.
Not
You know
for
what I mean? Anyway, so yeah, and I think that on social media is like 10 times over, because if you're following people that dress a certain way, and it also depends, I suppose, on if you do follow a lot of fashion influencers and things like that, because if you are someone and all you follow is like gym people or like work people or like you're like a legal person, so all you're following is like solicitors firms, you're not going to face that pressure to conform because like what pressure are you getting? But if you follow like Pretty Little Thing and like you follow all of these people and like you said earlier, Molly May, and they're pushing these things onto you for better or for worse, like then you probably are going to get a bit of pressure.
I was kind of thinking when I was thinking about like conforming to fashion norms, I was thinking about like school and uniform and how especially like in the UK you wear a uniform for like most of your life up until you're like 16, 17, if not longer. And everyone looks the same. And also when you're young, you just kind of want to be like everyone else. You want to be like your friends, so then everyone does dress the same. So I think, not to call 76% of you guys young, but I think a lot of the time you find that like as you grow up and as you surround yourself with like grown-up friends, you know, like the kind of friends that you meet in your adulthood, I feel like you find less need to be the same as those people. And I think social media, especially like I did a big unfollowing spree when I finished uni, and I unfollowed like, it's going to be really awkward if anyone unfollowed is listening, but I unfollowed most people from uni if I'm not friends with them, because I was like, I don't care to see that. But I think when you're like sixth form, early university, I think you're following so many people that it feels like everyone does just blend into one, and you do just start conforming without realising. Whereas when you like pick and choose and you're like, no, I really like this person because they're really interesting and unique, that's when you start feeling like you don't need to conform because you have individuals who don't. If that makes sense.
I guess I'm going to throw a counter argument at you. Could it be like less of a choice to like want to like blend, and it maybe also be like you were saying, from the ages of what, 4 to 16, you have to like, you fit into certain things, and once you're then away from that, you don't know any other way. So you want to go from, oh, uniform, I don't particularly want to stand out, I just want to do what I do. Like I want to stick to the status quo, High School Musical. That then when you can like wear your own thing, it could firstly be, I don't know my own fashion choices now, so it's not a pressure,
I don't know what I like.
It's not a pressure to conform, it's a I don't know, so I'm just going to go with what's in front of me. Or the same thing of like, I just kind of want to blend in, I don't want to ruffle any feathers here, so I'll just if that's the trend, I'll go with it. Like if Molly May's doing the side parting now, like I'll do that because
she's got millions of followers and fans.
Like if
I'll do that.
If it's working for her,
it'll work for me.
And it could also be, this is another thing, I'm going off what I've been saying like completely, so it might not make sense, but if you are seeing people who are successful dressing a certain way, do you want to dress that way to try and follow a similar path? Like if you're into fashion, you follow the trends because you think it's going to get you into a certain place.
Also at the end of the day, like whether you like it or not, so much of like life is based on how you look, and not necessarily like if you're pretty or not, but if you're presentable, if you look the part, like if you're going for jobs. For example, if you're going for a job in like, I don't know, like Pretty Little Thing, I can think of that, and you turned up like Molly May, you would fit the part. Whereas if you turned up and you were in like all black and you had like really thick chains, unfortunately they might be like, I can't really see you in this company, which is wrong. However, you can see why people would see Molly May and be like, that's how I'm going to dress because I want a job at Pretty Little Thing. Does that make
And then on the flip side, if you show up looking like Molly May to a corporate thing, again, it's not correct. You shouldn't be judged based on how you look going into a job interview, but you will. And this is, again, not social media, but conforming. I do it. If I go into job interviews, so I've got my Playboy bunny nose ring and a septum piercing, you know that the second I'm walking towards that job interview, the septum's being flipped up. Playboy bunny.
All of her tattoos are covered.
Like
every inch of her skin you cannot see.
I went to an interview on like the hottest day of the year and covered up entirely because like there is that pressure to conform. But I don't know if that's like fashion choices or
like doing what you need to do in order to be successful.
This is the difficult one, because I've said here, like personally, when I'm picking out my outfits day to day, I do look at like what sparks joy, but it's almost like there is that inner voice because there is a part of you that wants to conform in a way of like, you don't want to dress so incredibly wild that like the people are looking at you, and I guess that then depends on like how you feel about yourself and like images and stuff.
Because I've been at my work now for nearly 2 years, and I get away with wearing a lot of things, like pretty much anything I want to wear I can, but there are certain things that I'm like, no, I'm not going to wear that to work. Or even like if you watched The Last Champion Whispers and I had my all pink mascara the other day, I was like, I'm not quite brave enough to wear that to work. Because like, I don't know, I think there's a time and a place for things like that. And at work, I don't really want to have to deal with if there is a reaction. But any other day, I'll do anything.
So it's kind of like some people, including us sometimes, it's like not, pressures you to dress a certain way, but pressures you to dress so you're not being judged or looked at in a different way to how you wish to be perceived. I
think what I also thought about when I was thinking about these questions is that it also depends on where you are. Because I always say, so I'm from Suffolk, like quite countryside, and I always say to people at work, because I tend to wear like all pink outfits, I wear a lot of pink, and they're always like that's so cool, like when did you start doing that? And I'm like, I don't know, like I just like started acquiring like an all pink wardrobe, and then like I just put on items, and sometimes I end up in an all pink outfit and I don't even realise. And then I'm like, but when I go home, if I wear an all pink outfit, it's like crazy. Like I wore an all pink outfit on my birthday in town, and it felt so weird because everyone's in like monochrome outfits and things like that. And I remember I always tell the story that sometimes I have pink highlights, and I went into like a shop that we often go into, and I can't remember the outfit, but I know I had my like pink fur coat and I had my pink highlights. And I remember the person being like, so did you match your coat to your hair or your hair to your coat? Like, do you change your hair colour based on your outfit? And I was like, no, I just put it on. I just wear a lot of pink. This is my biggest coat, and it's the middle of winter and I'm at the beach. Like I just put it on, and they were like, why? That's crazy. Like, so I do think it's where you're from. I think because we live in, well, especially East London, you can kind of wear whatever you want and people aren't really gonna look.
And what we're seeing on social media is kind of reflective of what we see. So like, it doesn't like go either side of the conformity argument, but like social media, what we're seeing is very representative. But if you are from, because you're not from an absolute middle of nowhere, imagine if you were in like, you have one house and you don't really see anyone else. It's like, it's not really reflective of what you're going to see in day to day, but also can you then take bigger risks because there's less people around you? Like there's both sides to it.
I'd like to do a case study. Like, just put like a sim or something in the middle of nowhere.
Definitely. Nature or nurture vibes. And I guess this kind of goes on to question 2, which I did actually do on my personal Instagram, just because I wanted to reach like a different field of people, and it's really interesting the results, because the next question is, who do you dress for? And have you looked at the poll?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so the 3 options were myself, I don't care what people think. Number 2, myself, but I actively think how I'm perceived. And number 3, other people and for how I am viewed entirely. What do you think?
The middle one was myself, but I think about how I'm perceived.
So 70, it actually made me really sad. It made me really sad because I was obviously looking at who'd voted for what, and obviously I'll never tell you guys who did what, but it made me really like, just want to give you guys a hug. Even though I would vote this myself. So 70% of people said myself, but I actively think how I'm perceived. But then a good 30%, and it's a good chunk of people said myself, I don't care what people think. Luckily, just in our little research, no one said that they entirely dress for how you're
I would like to do like how old everyone is, where they're from, age, things like gender, that's what I would say. I just think that'd be really interesting to see like
where it sways.
All lands. I
think it's really interesting as well, because if 70% of people are saying they dress themselves but they actively think about how they're perceived, and everyone around you is also doing the same thing, it almost creates this like weird cycle where people are kind of like, oh, I do kind of like what I'm dressing, but then like everyone's thinking about how they're looking. So at the end of the day, at what point is someone creating what they want? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Like, is there any originality if everyone's thinking about other people?
And it kind of gives the impression that I've put that sometimes it's like you are free to appear how you wish to, but then back to what we were saying in the other question, like it's almost like there's limits to it.
Yeah, and I think there's like power in how you dress.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what we were talking about. I think while you're saying, oh, I dress for myself but I consider other people, it's like, oh, that's really sad that you can't dress fully for yourself.
Yeah.
However, you could also spin that and be like you're switched on and thinking like, oh, but if I wear this I'll look cool for this event. Do you know what I mean? Like that's still thinking about how you're perceived, but it's not in a I can't wear that because I'm gonna look weird. It can be like, I'm gonna wear that because I'm gonna look so cool, or I'm going to Love on Tour so I'm gonna wear bright outfits, or I'm going to like a cool indie concert so I'm gonna wear all black, which is we dress for events based on the event, which is still a kind of thinking about who you're dressing for.
It's like it's the different aesthetic for things, and I guess if you have that like moldable aesthetic to you, some people in a capsule wardrobe sense will only have what they do. And so they're probably the people that only dress themselves because they've got what they have,
fully practicality,
and they don't grab things from different like time periods, like aesthetic and things like that. But I think we're a bit more like we'll just grab what we like and go. So I guess like you were saying, Love on Tour, another example for us personally, what we wore to and how we presented at the 1975 was completely different to how we would present at the Sabrina Carpenter show. And you can see that even though, obviously I'm not saying they have the exact same fans, but more so now than ever there is a bit of an overlap between the 1975 fans and then like very pop fans. Like the gap is closing.
Like the Harry and 1975 fan crossover. When Harry was being rumoured to be brought out at the 1975 night too, everyone was losing their minds because there's a crossover there.
But we went like slick for the 1975, like black eyes, like we both were wearing like leather and black, weren't we?
Yeah, I think I was in double leather, which is crazy for the O2 Arena.
And
why did I do that?
You compare it to like Sabrina Carpenter, where people in like the bows and like the little tops with the slogans, or the Harry, where we were in like kind of like
long summer dresses,
like the more kitschy, is that the word? The better. And it's not like, oh, we felt like we were dressing for other people, but we were just dressing for the thing we were going to.
And I think this is, I quite like I don't like the 30% that say I only dress myself, but I like the idea, I mean we're spinning this because actually they've rated for I think about how I'm perceived, but I like the idea that you're dressing for yourself, but you're not like blindly just picking items out of your wardrobe, which I do. Like some days I just pick a top, I pick a trouser and I walk out, but we like a theme, we like dressing for an occasion, thinking like
trying something new and like, I don't know, I know what you're trying to say, like if there's just something new to go to, it's like, oh, how can I like, what do I have in my wardrobe that I can like put together in a way that I've not done that before for this? But then, okay, so if we're going back to how it's read by the majority, it's not as like we just really celebrated that, and I don't think it is quite as like celebratory, because if you are thinking about how you're perceived, it's probably a, am I dressing
I'm a little bit scared, but I wear what I want to wear, but I won't majorly go away from that.
And I think, okay, I'll speak from experience. So here right now, I'll wear what I want in front of you. I'm wearing like crop top, but when I'm going to work, I'm going to wear this exact same outfit, but I'm going to put a gilet on it. And that's me. I'm dressing what I want, but I'm thinking about how I'm being perceived. Because if I didn't think about anyone else, I'd just go out like this. But because I'm thinking about how people will look at me or be like, God, like she's pairing that together, or like her body on that, do you know what I mean? Putting that on, it's almost like a security blanket and just a little level of like, oh, you actually can't entirely see what I look like and what I'm wearing. So, well, I actually did vote for that. I couldn't vote on
bug.
Sorry,
I just got hit by a bug.
Oh no.
Cute guys. I just didn't want it to be in the camera and not to address it.
So Dominic bite like but yeah, so in that way, like that is thinking about how you're perceived. If you don't entirely go out and you're thinking like, I'm gonna strip down this street, I don't care who looks at me, I don't care if people like think, that's like the ugliest outfit I've ever seen. I'm confident in what I'm wearing, so it's fine.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of power to purely wear what you want to wear.
Yeah.
No matter what it looks like on you. I think it's something that we strive to do. Like, I think, especially within like even the past few months, we try and buy items because we like them. Yeah. And not necessarily think like, oh, but it wouldn't suit me. Like, if we like something and we think it's a cool item of clothing, we tend to buy it now. Whereas I think you're kind of like, it's engraved to you to buy what you think will look good on you. But it's like, if you like the item, get it. Yeah. Which is something that I think you have to physically put effort into doing.
I have two things to say about that. I think number one, wait, I can't remember the second one, but maybe it will like come back to me, is I think it also depends on like the mood you're in, because sometimes you can, like you could just wake up thinking like, I'm putting on this outfit because I feel great, no one can say anything that could ever hurt me, and then you could wake up literally the next day, and actually a friend of ours had a close friend story being like, does anyone just go from feeling hot to feeling, it was something like not flipping completely in the space of a day, is this just like a girl thing? And I think it goes beyond like a girl thing.
I think she got like 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, that is so telling. You could then wake up the next day and think like, I'm just gonna cover up because I don't really want to be like perceived. And we say that a lot, like I don't want to be perceived. Yeah. So like that's definitely like a thing to consider. And my second point is, and like hear me out on this one, is it also depends on how you want to be viewed. Because you're saying like, oh, how I'm being perceived, but it's a question of how. Do you want to look attractive to other people? Yeah. Do you want to look cool to other people? Because that actually would change how
outfits are different.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, like body types or just like the male gaze and things like that, that's going to be, are you like catering to looking attractive to the people? When you're walking down the street, you want people to look at you and think like, God, hot.
Yeah, because it depends who the person is. Yeah. So you're saying like, I think about how I'm perceived, but perceived by who? Because that means very different things. Yeah. Like, because I can think about how I'm perceived by you, and I'd probably still wear what I would normally wear, but I'd wear something you'd probably also wear, you know, like that Venn diagram. But then if I was like, I want a boy to like me, I'm going to dress something different. And I think you then come into the problem where with the male gaze, you never know when you truly escaped it. Yeah. Because even most of the time when you're trying to escape the male gaze, you're escaping the male gaze within the male gaze, because it's so impossible to break out of this when everything's coded to fit into it.
Yeah, because then when you're picking out an outfit, you're like, okay, so if I'm walking down the street, do I want, obviously this is like heteronormative, but would you want men to look at you and think like, oh, like she looks really hot? Or do you want like the people on like your level of like friendship, or people that you view as above, to think, oh, she looks cool, now we want to be friends with her, we're going to invite her to things? Yeah. Which I know like that's really dissecting what people voted for a lot and spinning it, but like it is also something to think about. Like, yeah, you're dressing for yourself, but how?
Yeah, and sometimes you can think you're dressing for yourself, but you're not. Yeah. Even in the case of like when we go out, I'm not going to wear this dress, it's one of my favourite dresses, but I'm not going to wear it out because why would I wear it there? Yeah. But realistically, I could wear it there. Like, there's no reason I can't wear this on a night out.
Yeah, you literally could.
Because it's a little dress and it's sweet, but I wouldn't wear it.
So do you think
because of how others perceive you? And also, why would you wear that clubbing? Because
is that male gaze to you?
Yeah, I think it is. And it's a little cutesy dress.
I always think it's kind of the opposite of like what I wouldn't wear. Do you know what I mean? Like what I would absolutely steer away from at all, I wouldn't want to wear, in terms of like, oh, like this part of me is on show, but like, I wouldn't want it to be, because to me the male gaze wouldn't like that and things like that.
I think it's really complicated because you're trying to break out of something that's been engraved within you,
and people don't majorly talk about it.
Yeah, and you're not conscious of it. Like, I don't wake up every day and think, today I'm not going to dress for the male gaze. Even like, today I'm not going to sit to suit the male gaze. Like, it's everything you do is dictated by it. So it's every like little step.
Well, this is like, it's it's part of this and the last one, whatever. It's like not male gaze as in I want people to look at me a romantic way, but I was very conscious yesterday. I made the decision of whether to go to work in shorts or a skirt, and I chose a skirt because I thought I was going to be dressed like the men there if I wore shorts. And you know what? I showed up in my skirt and top. If I'd have worn shorts, I'd have been dressed like every man there. But then when I was there, I was like, oh, the shorts are comfier.
Yeah.
Like, I could have worn them, and that would have been such a, like, comfy cash day at work.
Yeah.
But I wore the skirt, which I'm also wearing again today, but I'm wearing it for different reasons, because I wanted to put it on, so it is, like, a day-to-day thing.
So much of the time we accidentally dress like the men in our lives. Like, so much of the time. I think it is another case of, like, other people influencing you.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times I'll wear something and I'm like, oh my god, I look like so-and-so.
Yeah,
And then other days I dress like this.
There was this one time, I'm not going to say who obviously, but this one time at a festival. Do you know what I'm going to say?
I think,
This one time at a festival, like, someone we know, I was accidentally dressed a guy, I was dressed the exact same as, but we were back to back with each other in the press area.
And, like, they were both in separate conversations, like, and they were both stood the same way in the same outfits back to back, and it was so funny.
And like after she was like, oh, I wish I'd taken a picture. I wish, because we could have inserted it and blurred his face like that. I just wish I could have seen that.
You could still tell who it was.
I just wish I could have seen it from like another point of view.
So good.
Especially because, like, again, not to like say who it is, but we're very similar in terms of how we've like modified ourselves.
So many things. It was really weird. It was like you guys are the same person.
So weird.
Anyway, we got so off topic, but I think you can strive towards dressing for yourself. However, I don't think you should beat yourself up if you get dressed in the morning and you're like, no, actually, I just want to go down the simpler route and I just want to wear what everyone else is wearing at work. I think that's completely fine, because again, you have good days and you have bad days, and we'd be lying if we said that we always dress for ourselves, but we make the conscious effort to try to as much as we can.
Yeah, and it's like, even if, I guess this is me trying to segue into new things, but if you look at your wardrobe and you're like, God, none of this is what I want, I just want to dress for myself, you can go and get new things. Like, no one's saying you have to like have what you have and then change how it, like, obviously we'll talk about like overconsumption in a different video, but if you have the means and the ways about doing it and you just want to change up how you are just to be a little bit more yourself and feel more confident and think like, I'm gonna walk out the door in this new outfit, but this is exactly how I want to dress. Like, if I was a cartoon and I had my one outfit that every episode I was just gonna be drawn with it, like, I'm happy with that.
I really like that.
Thank you. God, I'd love to ask people what that would be.
We could do that part 2.
Yeah, we will. So I guess this goes on to the next thing of, but don't look at it.
Sorry, I didn't look up what they say. Like, muddle up the order when you tell me what the options are.
Do you feel confident to try something new with fashion, or do you tend to stick with what is tried and tested for you?
Okay.
So, I stick with what I know looks good on me. I love trying new things and I feel confident, or sometimes I feel nervous with new things.
Nervous first. What are the other 2?
I love trying new things, I feel confident, or I stick with what I know is good for me.
I love trying new things and then stick with what I'm comfortable with.
Weirdly enough, it was a two-way tie.
Oh god!
Like, it was very split. 41% both said I love trying new things, I feel confident, which great. And sometimes I feel nervous with new things.
They're both very like complimentary.
Yeah, but 18% of people, which again is still like a big chunk, said I stick with what I know looks good on me, which also isn't necessarily like a bad thing.
I think, again, I'd like to do a study on who's said this, because I think if you've experimented with your clothes before and you know what you like, and you have a very set style and you're very happy and you're both comfortable but it's yourself, etc., I think that's really positive. Yeah,
because it's like, where at this like tried and tested scale are you?
Yeah.
Are you at the very beginning where it's like, I have what I have, like
I've just moved to a new city and I'm trying to expand.
Yeah, like I actually really would want to wear some new things, but like I know what looks good on me for the past. I've never tried to like stray away, so I'm just not going to.
Okay, we just had a quick break for moving new garden furniture.
We have garden furniture.
But we're back. As you were saying.
The point I was making, I literally stopped mid-sentence. Or are you someone that, I do know this, I swear, You are so like sure of yourself. You've tried out so many trends. You've done that. You've been around. You've done all this and that. You've thought, oh, like I'll try like mini, maxi, you know, like everything oversized and all this. And you're just like, you know what? No,
This is what I find comfort in.
I can't be bothered for going out and getting new stuff anymore. This looks good on me. I have my small amount of things that I just have on rotation. And that's completely fine.
Yeah.
And that is then I stick with what I know, because if you know it looks good, then why would you go on to try more?
And I feel like comfort clothes are like a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's not something you should be ashamed of. I think it's really nice. And when you get attached to clothing, when you associate clothing with certain things, like
the memories of clothing, like a lot of the time, if we're talking about memories, like I won't know like who was there that night, but I could tell you what I was wearing.
Yeah. Or now and then I'll put an outfit on and I'll be like, this is what I wore to this. Or I feel like I've worn this to this before.
Yeah.
And I think there's something nice in having clothes that can bring you comfort, because at the end of the day you wear clothes every day.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to have a pair of jeans that you wear that you're just comfy in and they're nice, but you know, they're comfortable to wear and I'm comfortable in them. I don't really think about them when they're on me, but I'm happy in them. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think every single day of your life you need to be pushing the boat out and wearing something like crazy, because also then you get in like the territory of like, oh, she's an outfit repeater.
Yeah.
Like an outfit repeating is like the best.
Lizzie McGuire, you are an outfit repeater, and then what's worse than an outfit repeater? An outfit rememberer. True.
Yeah.
But I think I fall somewhere in the middle, because if I am feeling confident, I will try something new. Like sometimes I'll come back with things from work and I'll be like, so I got this. There's this top that I want from work at the minute, and it says on it ex girlfriend, and like I really want to get it. I just need to get the confidence to get it and then get it. It's like, I'll show you. It's got like denim buckle straps, and it's like a little crop top, and it's Jaded London, so I can show you after. So sometimes I will like, you know, push the boat out and think like, I don't tend to wear this, and I have been really good recently about just like faking it till I make it in terms of confidence, because then once you're out, like the last Hail Mary we went to, I wore an outfit that so wasn't me. Well, like it is me, but it's just me elevated confidence, and I did
this
it.
is kind of what I was thinking, is that like once you wear something you kind of don't think about it. This is also kind of the next point, so I don't want to majorly get into it, but I think if you see something you like, wear it, because you need to wear clothes you want, not clothes you think suit you.
Yeah.
I think this is what's made me happiest in wearing clothes, is that whether I think it suits me or not, I wear it. Like, for example, before this winter maybe, I wouldn't wear sweater vests because I just thought, I don't know, I just thought it looked a bit boxy. Like, because they're thick, I felt like I just looked a bit like a rectangle. And then I found this cutest one, my mum found it, cutest little sweater vest.
Yeah.
It's like Harry core. It's just really sweet. And I was like, no, I am going to wear it. And I've worn it with tops underneath. I've worn it without tops underneath. And now and then I'm like, I don't think it is the most flattering thing on me, but it's the most gorgeous jumper I own. Every time I wear it, everyone's like, I'm obsessed with that jumper. And I don't think about how it looks because I just like it. And I feel like that's the goal, is that I own items of clothing that spark joy because of what they are. And I put them on because I like the item of clothing, not because how I look. Because at the end of the day, like, it's just a body. Like, it's just like how I live.
And also, I guess with you, like, you try new things sometimes because of influence, because sometimes I'll just find things at work and I'll just bring it back and I'll be like, this is yours now. Like, I saw it and you wouldn't necessarily wear it, but you should.
Oh, guys, I'm the most annoying person because I try something on and I never like it the first time.
Yeah.
So like I do get influenced because Eliz will get me something and she'll be like, no, like, you need it. Also, like, I like value Eliz's opinion on clothes so much that she'll be like, no, you need to wear it. And then I try it on and I'm like, I'm not so sure. It's like, no, like, you do. So then I put it away for a bit and then I try it on and then I like it. And you wear it out and you don't think about it.
I think only because, like, I can't be like a yes man when it comes to clothes, because if someone turned around to me and told me something that looked ugly looked nice, I would never forgive them. Yeah. So I will tell someone if it doesn't look nice, so then you know if I'm telling you it looks nice, it's genuine. because I think what is the point when you could just have the money back on something and
Yeah.
it's free money to get something that will look better, but if it looks good then I'll tell you.
I think I'm someone, so when I started uni I was really like careful with money, but like too careful with money. Like I never bought myself new stuff, and I kind of like work on that now so that I am more like open with spending money. But it's scary buying new clothes, and I think this is why you then sometimes fall into the trap of I wear what I'm comfortable with, because you don't want to buy new clothes. You don't want. I find that I feel like I've wasted money if I get something that I don't like.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't know unless you try it. And then on this, I was also thinking about how, and we've done partnerships with High Street, but this isn't like spun in any way. But I think hiring brands and things like that really help push you out.
Yeah.
Because we've ordered 3 times from High Street, and each time, that's the second time I've dropped my phone recording. It can stay down there. We've done like a few different things, and every time we get stuff that's like slightly that we wouldn't buy, but we really like, and it gets us trying things that we wouldn't otherwise try.
Yeah, because
it expands your fashion taste without having to spend money.
If I had to buy the dress that I wore to Love on Tour this time, I wouldn't, because like I would never be confident in that, but because it was like a trial run, I can wear it the one time and then send it back, or if I want it I can get it, that's fine. So yeah, that's definitely one thing. But then also you can be a bit of both. Like you can have some things that you're willing to like really just push the boat out. Like day to day I'll be more like, oh I don't, like I'll just throw on like, this is, I don't mind trying something new. But if you know me in terms of like going out, I have one style of dress that is then tried and tested. Like, so sorry guys, a little bit of beatboxing there. Like, before a night out is when I get my most stressed about like what I'm gonna wear, even if I've planned it. I just have this moment of like, I hate it. But my O-ring, halter neck, Urban Outfitters mini dresses will never fail me. They never will. So that is when I would fall so hard into the I stick with what I know looks good on me, and it's not a negative thing. It's because I know it looks good on me. And like,
I think we're a blend of the two.
Yeah, but then I am willing to, if I see something else, for instance the one on the last night out, it wasn't that different. It was essentially like the mold of an O-ring, just with other things on it. Do you know what I mean? But like, I am willing to try the things, but it's not bad if you also stick with what you know.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, wear what you want to wear, and if you're not feeling like expanding, then don't. Because you're just gonna feel uncomfortable, and it's not worth it.
I think it's like what you were saying earlier as well. It does come with age. Like at some point, like confidence does come with you, and obviously we can only talk about it to a 20-something's point of view, and people do say that a lot of your confidence just suddenly spikes in like your 30s because you don't have the stresses of your 20s anymore, and you're like, I actually don't care anymore, I will wear what I like. So maybe at some point we'll fall hard into like, I don't care, like, oh, it's actually none of these things, it's just I'll wear what I want when I want to. It doesn't matter.
I don't think about it ever.
Like, it doesn't matter if I've had it for 10 years or if I'm going out to buy it for one event. Like that's that. So it probably does come with age, and also maybe the circle around you. If you feel like you dress quite a certain way that doesn't fit in with your friends, you might not have the confidence to like keep getting new things and trying. But if you are with like, and it probably is like a creative mindset or like artsy people, not saying that like the more corporate world can't be, but based on what we know, like you will feel more confident because these people are also pushing the boat out, and it's a lot of like what is around you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. That's just me though.
Happy.
And then this kind of leads on to, we asked for your guys' advice as well, and it was just how can you boost confidence in how you dress? And we had so many people.
Yeah, this
like
is
it's
so
lovely. This one is so interesting. The first one is finding your right size and tailoring what you wear to what is flattering. That is a good point, because I think, and obviously a lot of these will be like, just do it, like whatever. I think I just put the words like full send, do it. And like to a certain extent, but you do have to get to know yourself. Because it's all well and good finding these cool clothes, but if you then put them on, you're like, oh actually this is really ill-fitting.
Like I feel physically uncomfortable. Yeah,
like I found a dress on High Street that it was the perfect dress in thery. It was this white dress, and it technically fit, but it was
just
so
sat.
just in the wrong places. And it's like,
Yeah.
if I, obviously this was a hired dress, so I couldn't do this, but if you owned it, I could have got that tailored knowing my own proportions and measurements, which I don't know, which probably would help me in the future. If I did that, then maybe I would have felt the confidence to wear it.
Yeah, I think also there's a difference between like, so for example, I think the big thing that people are normally scared of wearing and aren't confident in is like fitted things, little things. And I think as someone who wears like a lot of like little tops, there's a difference in wearing a little top that's too small and wearing a little top, full stop. And I think this is where the finding your right size fits in, because a lot of the time I'm happy in a little top. The times in which I'm not happy in a little top and I'm not comfortable or confident is when they're too small and I'm aware that they're too small. I feel like I'm going to fall out with it. I can't like breathe in it, and then I start feeling not confident because I'm not like I can't do anything, and that's when I find that I get overwhelmed and I'm not happy in it. And I think this is where finding your right size does help. Or even like wear tall girls and finding skirts that are short but I can still move in.
Yeah, like if I bend, it's not like flashing everyone.
Yeah, like it's things like that I feel more confident in, because realistically, if this dress was short, like this is a short dress, if it was any shorter, I wouldn't feel confident in it, so I wouldn't wear it. And then I would start feeling a bit scared of it because I never wear that dress.
It's also like you kind of have to go into finding your, or like knowing your size, very neutral. Like no one's saying you have to be really positive, because at the end of the day, the numbers, the inches, the centimeters, it's all just facts. And it's very much easier said than done. It's going to be a journey depending on how you feel about yourself. But like, if you know you are a 12 or a 16 or an 8, whatever, that's just how you know that you now need to dress. Do you know what I mean?
What is it? The clothes should fit you, not you fit the clothes. I think it's a process, finding sizes and saying, I'm going to get this top in X size, and not attaching words and feelings, because at the end of the day, and it sounds so dumb if it's something you struggle with, but it is just a label, and it doesn't matter what size it says in there, it's how it fits you. And realistically, no one can tell if the dress you're wearing is a 10 or a 14. Like, no one is ever looking at you and thinking, oh, it looks like she's wearing a 14 dress. Like, no one thinks that.
And also,
because no one knows, because sizing is whack everywhere.
And it's like, it's not going to be linear. Yeah, like you said, like in different shops, it's different sizes for the same thing. Like so many people do like jean comparisons, and it's such wild sizing, but there's no difference.
I've had before that I won't buy something because I don't want to size up in 2 sizes. And it's like, why would you do that? Like, if you want something, get the size. Who cares if their sizing like numbers are wrong? I mean, it's a morality thing. I think sometimes I'm like, I don't want to spend my money at a brand that's like tailoring to smaller sizes. But I think you shouldn't not buy something or not wear something based on like a number.
Yeah, because it's like, I can only talk about the high street things. It's the last thing we've done recently. It said there is no give in it, and I was like, I don't want to size up to a large. Like, that's just like a thing for me personally, because I was going to get a medium. But it's like, if I had have got the medium, it would not have fit me. There was no give. So I think I personally have come a long way with this whole like being neutral about it. Is that now it fits you, because it wouldn't have fit before, and then you would have been sad about it.
There's so many things that add up to sizing. Like, we've been talking about this a lot. Is that like we will have to size up because we need it longer, and because you're like, while it might be, you know, a 10 will fit you, because your body isn't a line. Things are then shorter because it's having to go around your body, which is a normal thing to happen. Whereas it feels like, well, it does fit me. Things like that doesn't make sense.
We could have the same dress in the same size that will technically both fit us, but it won't fit us in the same way. Like, it won't look the same, because which is why
a different shape.
Like we're not the same. Like, what's it, like the actual, what's it, pair, hourglass? You know what I mean? We're not the same as that, but like we share clothes. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like a weird thing. So I guess that's
sizing
the person.
I think we're slowly moving. I mean, like, we as like a collective, it's slowly moving away from measuring life by clothes sizes, which I think is good. I know when we were younger, it was very much like how to get from a size
Yeah.
X to a size X. Whereas I feel like nowadays it's not so much that. I think there's still a way to go, but I think it's to go back to what the person said. I think finding your right size doesn't need to have a stigma around it where it's like you're wearing the wrong thing. I think it's finding the right size that fits you and not thinking about the size as a whole thing.
Also, we'll go into more vintage clothing with the whole like consumption in the next one, but vintage sizing is not the same as modern sizing, and we as a society are leaning back on vintage clothing a lot more now, so maybe that is also why we're kind of steering away from clothing sizes, because we know that that's not the same. So if I was going to get vintage sizing, it would be so drastically different to what I would get if I was going into like Urban or Zara or something, because
Zara.
And it is to do with modern day clothing aren't as good quality, so things will stretch differently and things like that. It's all like, we can get into it more, but it is just so wildly different. You can't base such like opinions on what it's telling you, I guess, which easier said than done, but you know. Other little bits of advice, we have ask your friends, which is always good. Looks like what we were already saying,
because I think you can, like, speaking from experience, you can get so in your head about things and I get really overwhelmed. And sometimes it's not that I don't have my own opinion on clothes. So, for example, Harry, I had 2 outfits. I liked them both, but I needed people to be like, I think this, because I was like, I'm happy with both, but I just can't decide, and other people can see me, and they know me, they know what I want to wear, and things like that. So I think, your friends' opinions are very valuable, and like 99% of the time it's going to be positive, and the 1% will be you're wearing something like crazy, like why are you wearing that?
So there's like ask your friends and hype women. Sometimes also you don't necessarily want constructive criticism. I think you need to go in, if there's certain friends that you know will just pick apart things because they can, but all you want is this fits,
You're
right?
stunning.
Like all you want is just a little bit of I know I'm going to wear this to an event. There's no other option. I'm wearing this, I'm happy. All I want is the woohoo from my friends. But you know, one of your friends is going to be like, yeah, but have you considered this?
Like, your waistline's a bit low.
Like you need to find the people. Like you need like the hype men and like the yes men to an extent, but then you need to know the difference between what you're getting yourself into.
If you're already set on something, you don't want to go to the friend that's like,
like
colour on you,
a negative Nelly. We don't want that. I actually had this as a point, but other people said it as well, is to wear it in the house to start with. Because I personally have done this. It was a bit of a mixture of everything. Is wearing shorts to the gym. I was wearing shorts around the house for ages before, and I guess it was like a mindset switch, and also I kind of had the realization that I wear small dresses to the club next door from the gym, and I always have. That wearing shorts to the gym is just the next step. But wearing it around the house first, like it actually did make a difference. And just like wearing it to the shop, like go small little trips in things, and then coming back to the house and being like, okay, nothing happened. No one called me like ugly. No one was like, too much leg. Like no one said
what
that.
I do is when I try them on, I try them on once. And this is where I'm like, you can tell if it fits. Try it on once. I try it on a second time, and then I take pictures. And then I leave it a little bit. And then I go back to the pictures, and like pretty much every time, I'm like, no, that's really cool. And then the third time I'll wear it as like a short burst.
You need like this space of like, okay, this is the thing. This is like a new thing on me. And this is something I've never seen before. And we had this conversation the other day before Harry, like, okay, this is the new thing. Or even if it's slightly not the sizing, or slightly the colour was different, or something about it is not what you thought when you were ordering it, or whatever.
But it's still...
You put it on, it fits, and it's good. And then you come back to it and you're like, oh, all right. It looks nice though. Do you know what I mean? Because also, if you then go into your friend, if they haven't said anything, you can always tell. Like, because someone will be like, oh,
that's different.
You're like, okay, you chose that then. And then it's like, okay, say less. I'll go cry now. Do you know what I mean?
Think you need this space. I think if you're trying to expand your clothing, you're trying to wear things you don't normally wear, you need the space to look at it without your like predetermined thoughts, whether that's like on your body, on like what you thought it was going to be, on the style, anything. You just need to like find a space, and that's why sometimes hype men and whatever are good to have, because it's people who can kind of counteract that if you struggle with kind of disliking things first.
Yeah, like new things, like change being bad, but you kind of need to change it to change is just change, and then at some point change can be good. And then another piece of advice was find pieces that you love and actually want to wear, which is kind of what we were saying about like not sizing what it is, if you like the clothing or if there's memories attached to it, or just like good vibes from it. Because if you're like, if the difference is I could wear this thing that I know I'm comfortable in, but I'm going to look back at pictures and be like, why did I wear that? But if you love this dress, you're like, that's perfect for this like cocktails, like we're going to an Aperol event, I want to wear this orange dress, like that is what I picture, and I'm going to look back and think like, wow, I was so dressed for it. Then you love it, and then you will actually want to wear it, and because you're happy about the feelings attached to it, then you'll be more comfortable trying it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And then on the flip side, comfortable things as well. This is a really good piece of advice. Always have one part of the outfit that's in your comfort zone.
We've struggled with this recently. I think we've pushed it out a little bit too far, and we'll be in like an outfit, whole new outfit clothes. And I think in certain cases it is good to just like almost like flood yourself.
Yeah.
However, I wish I thought about this.
Yeah.
Because like because you know you like something, so you know you're gonna like the outfit.
Yeah.
Whereas I've gone out in outfits where I'm in like a new, what even was it? I was in a new top and I was in a new trousers or something, and it was
just a bit much,
a lot, and there was no way I was ever gonna completely be happy with that, because I'm not someone who deals well with change.
Yeah, but if you have like, for instance, whole new makeup, but you have a top that you know looks great, that's going to be easier. Or if you have a new top but your go-to trousers, and another person said like your comfort colours, they said pink, which
absolutely,
this is speaking to the choir, preaching to the choir. Like if you have the things that you can fall back on, and then you can look at the whole outfit or makeup or whatever as a whole and be like, oh no, it did look good, because it was the old and the new, a nice blend, giving wedding day.
Absolutely.
And this was just a slightly more niche, but I think it does go into like boosting your confidence, is the topic of tattoos, which we have very split perspective. Because I have tattoos and you don't. Well, did you just look at the poll?
But I don't know which way around it.
You know what it's going to be.
I know what it's going to be.
So we
asked, that one with nothing?
Yeah.
God.
So we asked, do you think tattoos play a role in your confidence? And 77% of people said, yes, it makes me more confident in my skin. 23% said it doesn't really affect me, but no one said I do not think tattoos will change your self-image,
which is good.
Yeah, that's always a good thing,
because I mean, literally, it
does. It does change
yourself.
You've like modified yourself. You are no longer looking the same as you did before.
Yeah,
but I really do think this.
You're like a strong believer.
Yeah.
In this.
And this is why I say it to my mum, because my mum, this isn't calling her out, but she's anti-tattoo. But I will tell you my evidence to base this on is this angel on my arm. If you're listening, you can't see it, but I have an angel on my arm. And I truly believe, and I have actually a Libra tattoo, but it's just a legal scale on my other arm. I truly believe that I wouldn't wear half the things I wear today if I didn't get that last year. Because there's a space there with something you like.
Yeah. And you want to show that off. It's like an art piece. Yeah,
like I have struggled with how I look at my arms. But if I look at my, like, forearm, bicep area, not that I have biceps, but you know what I mean, the gun show. If I look at that and I'm in a strappy dress, it's not like I'm looking and thinking like, oh, that's my arm. Like, there's so much arm there, Jesus. It's like, no, there's tattoos there. I really like it. Like, both sides, like, cool. I look at this and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And that goes back to like the attraction versus cool. I look at my arms and I'm like, I look cool now.
And I think I look cool.
Yeah, like I am happy with how this looks because I am presenting. This is how I've chosen to modify myself and I like it.
Yeah.
What do you think as someone without tattoos?
Yeah, I agree. Because I think you can have it in other ways. And that, like, God, I'm not got any jewelry on.
Well,
But normally like jewelry.
yeah,
Um,
piercings.
Yeah. Even like hair. Like if I think I'm not gonna like an outfit, the likelihood is that if I've got like freshly washed hair.
Yeah.
Or like I find I like my makeup more when I've had my roots done.
Yeah, it's
Things
weird.
like that, like I think there's steps you can take where I think there's a risk in things like that because they're temporary. That it's like I'm gonna feel ugly if I'm not in jewelry. That's where there's a problem. You need to see it as like a bonus to pick me up. If I had my roots done, that's a bonus, and I'm like really summery and like glowy.
But you're sad.
But if I've not got that, I'm also content. It's just different.
Yeah, similar with the tattoos. This isn't a like, if you hate the way you look, just get a full sleeve, because it's actually not going to fix the like actual brain.
But it's just a help step almost.
If that's what you want, if you wanted the tattoos anyway and you're like, oh my god, now I feel really confident, like that's great, but don't do it in the hopes that like
fix.
Like if you just have like a body image problem with a certain point of your body, like ink can't change it.
Yeah.
But from my perspective and a lot of people's perspective, it does, just because
77%.
like because you have that thing that you've chosen, like you've hand selected it at the end of the day, and you've gone through and you've paid for it, probably a lot of money, and now you like the thing, like you were saying, like it's an art piece that you're going to want to show off, and like this is going to sound so cringe, please no one ever tell me I've said this, your body becomes an art piece, like it does, then you would want to show off, like
especially with your kind of style as well, like you've got so many different artists and people who you've always wanted a tattoo from. I think it's a really cool opportunity.
So going back to the gym shorts thing, it's like when I went to the gym in my shorts for the first time, Becky, I almost said her street name then. Becky was like, God, I've never seen your leg tattoos before. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God,
like you've got these really cool tattoos.
Yeah, like I spent hundreds.
Favourites. Yeah. And no one ever sees them because you're too scared to wear shorts.
Yeah, like. And then the one day I do, I just get like, I know that's not a compliment, but it was in a positive way.
And you take some pictures.
Yeah.
You can see your tattoos, like it's
cool.
Good. If it's something you want to do, I think it's there's no harm in it.
It can like definitely play like a good role, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's something you can control.
Yeah, definitely.
Like sometimes I think with body image, it's like I can't control the way that my bones are.
Yeah.
Like I can't control my bone structure. Whereas it is something you can control and you can pick and choose. And I think it's a nicer way to modify your body that's not physical.
Yeah.
Like it's physical, but it's not like I need to get skinnier arms. It's like, well, no, that's not healthy. That's not a healthy thinking pattern. Whereas I would like to present my favourite artists on my arm or have things that mean something to me. It's positive, better, and it's a positive step rather than a negative step.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, like slightly winding in before we get to the last little bit, is that a lot of it is you can't change the way you think about yourself overnight, and it's going to be potentially a long process of trying to take away the thoughts of how other people look at you. But if there are small things you can do day to day, which is mixing up what you wear, doing one small step each day. If you want the tattoo or you want the piercing, get it, because like you'll look at yourself every day and think like, oh, I love that. Yeah, don't just rush out and get it and regret a tattoo. And if some of you, so I know someone that's listening made this point that they want to wait till they're 25. So
that's so clever.
Yeah, their brain is fully developed, so they can't blame a regretful tattoo on being young and dumb, which is valid. I've gone way past that point.
How many you got to? Double digits?
12. 11. But yeah, if you can do like little things each day, it's always going to be positive. Like, obviously, it depends on your mindset. Steps. Yeah. Just take it one day at a time. Yeah. But this then leads to a very positive final poll. I have like work days off on this PowerPoint timing. Because we asked if you believe that a good outfit can elevate your mood.
Did everyone say yes?
It was 100% yes. And
absolutely.
It's like a good outfit is never going to make you feel worse. Do you know what I mean?
I love a good outfit. Like, I'm notoriously, if someone compliments my outfit, I'm like, thank you. Like, the more pink I wear, probably the more upset I was in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm set up to have a bad day, I'll wear as much pink as physically possible. Or if I've got like a scary meeting, I'll wear that sweater vest I was talking about. Like,
well, it's the whole notion of dopamine dressing, which we seem to like bring up a lot, and we kind of like
are dopamine dressing right now, because you're in like a pink situation.
Yeah.
I've got all my tattoos on show, and I'm wearing the things that will like elevate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you all agree that dopamine dressing is a thing.
I think it's such a good like technique.
Yeah, and some of the dopamine outfits that you guys said are like cute summer dresses. A lot of people say like
Cute
summer
dresses.
dresses like a nice. If you look at something, you think like, oh, cute.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be good. Someone said a cow dress. I don't know if that's cow print. Yeah.
She has a specific cow dress.
Ah.
She wore it when we went to that. Sorry, this is not affecting you guys. When we went to that sample sale.
Oh, that one. Okay, yeah. True. Yeah, like linen trousers. A lot of it is just like cute things.
Yeah.
But then also, if you want to wear the teeny tiniest little thing ever, that's also like, it just depends on what you think is like, yeah, I'm that girl. Like when I put on this outfit, like that's
I kind of had that
sick.
with my leather trousers.
Yeah.
Which is kind of something that when I first got, I wasn't sure about. And it's crazy. So I must have gotten them like about a year ago now, because I had them for festival season.
What?
If not longer. And they were something I was like, oh, I don't know quite how comfortable I feel.
Yeah.
Because they're like not quite high waisted. And I mean, leather's leather.
Yeah.
They're fake leather. And yeah, now every time I wear them, I feel so cool.
Yeah, and I had it with you know, my like really bright lime green giant coat, and it's got like the fur line. When I first got that, I was like, I'm never gonna wear that.
Yeah.
And then like, if I just want to like elevate an outfit, it is like that coat is that girl. Like it comes out very infrequently. But when it comes out, like she's there. We're at the girls' bathroom event.
Yeah.
Like I think Chinsia complimented it. I want to say like it was just it's the moment. Yeah,
God,
definitely.
another champagne whispers and severe Chinsia reference.
I don't think we've done a champagne whispers without mentioning at least one of them. But yeah,
I'm trying to think of other things I have. You know what? Recently, I'm a very like merch person, which I always kind of was. I mean, we were both like fangirls back in the day, but I'm kind of falling back in love with like a merch tee, like whether it's like our Sophie one.
Yeah.
Bought the Harry tee that I spoke about in the Platinum mixtape. I really like t-shirts that have meaning and that people have put thought into designing, and that you can just represent like your friends and your faves.
It is just a lot of like representing who you are at the end of the day, which I guess is a nice closing statement. Is like fashion and confidence. It's all just like it's an extension of you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like how people are looking at you, but it's also like you could go to the shop and not see a single person.
Yeah.
And if you come home and you're like, that was a cool outfit, then that's how you know you've done your job correctly. Like when I go to work in my Lana Del Rey t-shirt, it starts a conversation. You can get the Lana fans out because they're like your top, and I'm like, are you going to Hyde Park? Or like, are you going to Glastonbury? And they're like, yeah, and I'm like, all right.
Well, I actually got Golden Circle for Lana Hyde Park.
Yeah, I actually share her first name, so what do you have?
So yeah, I think there's more to be said. I feel like we're not done.
There's
but we
definitely
are done with this episode.
Yeah, I didn't realise doing the polls how much we can then talk about from it. So there will definitely be a part 2.
Yeah.
More online presence, and I'm sure there'll be things we've also just missed.
Yeah. So make sure you message us. Probably blonde vibrations. Probably Instagram is our best way to contact us. It's just blonde_vibrations. We'll probably have more question boxes and polls up based on it before the second episode, just to get some updated ideas.
And if you're watching on YouTube, you can just put it in the comments as well. Like we'll check it. Like we've never said that before, but we do check that.
And we can see them. And next week will be a Platinum mixtape, so that will be Spotify exclusive.
Very exciting things to come, actually.
Yes. But if you're not on Spotify, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time for another Champagne Whispers. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yes, so subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow us if you're on Spotify or Apple, rate us 5 stars.
Any other streamings are there.
Tell us your dopamine dressing outfit.
Yeah, if you're on Spotify, there'll be like a question box and a poll, so go join in on that. Just like chat with us. Let's like keep these good vibes going. Let's keep
good
chatting.
vibes going. I think that's about it, really. Yeah. So have a nice day. Hope the birds are tweeting for you.
Yeah, I hope you're wearing an outfit that makes you very happy.
And you know what? Wear SPF.
Yeah.
Because that's going to boost, really.
I am on my face.
I am on my face. I am on my neck as well.
I'm not on my arms.
this is kind of awkward. If you have tattoos, you need to protect them, otherwise they're not going to be cool for long. See ya.
Bye, guys.
My whole laptop just fell. Cut the cameras.